Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, whatever name you want to call it, this place is notorious for a championship. Any driver that's able to win here, statistically speaking, is the top prize. Live from the virtual Darlington Raceway, it's race number 13 of the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series presented on V-Speed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alex Gagnon with me all season, co-commentary. Alex, we're shaping up the points. It just occurred to both of us, hey, we've only got 3 races left to shape this chase format.
Yeah, time is starting to run out here, and obviously Darlington going to be a big piece of the puzzle here tonight. While that battle up at the top with Ellison and Carrington still very much underway, it's really just a 2-horse race for the regular season title. Meanwhile, you look back to that cut line, and things are going to get real spicy there between Daniel Drew, Clinton Sneed, and Jeff No. And you can add Craig Martin to the mix there as well. A lot of cars fighting for those last couple spots.
And with that, you see how tight it is from Sheldon Atkins, who just moved up 5 positions after last week at Talladega. And we're shaping up here for one of the harder stretches of the season with Watkins Glen coming up next week. And look at the schedule up on your screen. 3 races left. Texas Motor Speedway, the last of the regular season. And then it's on to Phoenix, all the way to Homestead on the 17th of December. It's a tight schedule here for Darlington and Watkins Glen. This is going to challenge some drivers, but it could really upset the points. And for, drivers like Casey Ellison or Gabe Ellison and Casey Carrington, it's just one of those situations where you have to make the best if you don't favor one of these tracks.
Yeah, this is going to be if you have the race-winning pace, you need to capitalize, and if you don't, we are really going to test your resolve here tonight with how much points you can squeeze out of a less-than-optimal car. Darlington is very much known for that. You see the track up on your screen here, one of the most unique designs in all of stock car racing. Really wide 1 and 2, really narrow lane, but a much wider corner than 3 and 4. Multiple grooves there in 3 and 4, but a much tighter turn. You can't build a car that handles both sides of the track evenly, so you got to figure out what you want to succeed at, what your detriment's going to be, and just try and hold on.
1.36 miles and 25 to 23 degrees of banking. It's going to be very, very tight into turns 1 and 2 when we fire this thing off. Race analysis up on your screen. 90 laps here tonight. Pit road speed limit around 45 miles per hour. Probably don't want to play with that too much, as it is one of the most challenging pit roads to get on and off of with the transition of the banking. 4 tire sets available. They will be at a premium with this old asphalt service here in South Carolina, and stage lap at lap 45. So with that, let's take you trackside now and get that grid up on your screen. Starting on the pole, well, he came to play. Let's see what he's got here for the final 3 weeks in the regular season. Casey Carrington, 29.027. He beats Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, a 29.032. So less than a few thousandths of a second separate these two drivers for the top spot. Michael Mullins will start in row number 2 with Michael Sturgill, 2-time winner here for the 3-car, actually 3-time winner, I think. And then we go back to Sheldon Atkins, who moved up to 5th in points. He'll start 5th on the grid in the 81. Thomas Stokes in the 6th position. Then it's Gabe Ellison and Dylan Rosenberg for row number 4. Rounding out your top 10 is Daniel Giroux and Curtis White in the 63.
Back there to row 6, it'll be Stan Carnathan in the 82, Michael Garone in the 66. Row 7, John Skavnicki in the 4, Tim Bruce in the 411. 15th tonight is going to be the one of Steve Melnick. 77 of Kyle Shelton rolls off to his outside. The last 3 cars electing not to run a time in qualifying. That is the 6 of Jose Ruiz, the 22 of Craig Martin, and the 49 of Clinton Sneed, rounding out your field tonight. 19 cars ready to go to battle here at Darlington Raceway.
So it takes me back to the glory days of NASCAR, the Southern 500, 900 horsepower thundering around in South Carolina. Let's see what they have in store for us here tonight for the SimRacer.com Challenge Series. Sim Racer Hub about to be underway into the restart zone. Green flag is out. And already some wheel spin with the 11 of Stokes. 3 wide into turn 1.
Everyone had to fan out in a hurry to get around the 11, but he was not the only one. He's having more trouble than everyone down on the apron.
Carrington gets by with lap number 1, but let's go back to the start of this race with the 11 of Stokes. He's all the way on the backstretch and still losing control. Stokes is all but done here. He's got the lead lap cars coming out of turns 2. They're down the backstretch. He's going to go a lap down. It was Rosenberg that got into the back of him, I believe. A bunch of wheel spin, and the 11 just never could regain control. He goes all the way around the backstretch, and this trend continues. The Mike and Ike 11 just never able to get it back underneath of him. He's going to go into 3 and 4 and lose control again here. It looked like the 77 got into him.
Old 77 really got into him. That's what sent him around.
As if the race start wasn't bad enough, Kyle Shelton got a piece of him as well.
That is certainly not how you draw it up there for the 11. Looking up toward the front of the field, though, Casey Carrington's got a little bit of company. Michael Mullins and Michael Sturgill up there battling for second up on track. The 3 looking to the inside here in 1 and 2.
Almost tried that slide job. Wasn't able to get away with it. It's really tough to pass here through 1 and 2. Mullins actually had to back off, and it was through 3 and 4 that worked. 1 and 2, more difficult. I don't think Sturgill would have tried it there because that exit wall, as we'll go on board, sneaks up on you in a hurry here.
Yeah, my headset was crashing for a second. Had to get that thing reset. And when I popped up, I was assuming we were in 1 and 2, but alas, it was in 3 and 4. So my apologies there, but we're jumping back on with this battle for the top 3 spots as they're making the way into 1 and 2. Sturgill last lap gets around Mullins and now has his eyes set on the leader, Casey Carrington, who just got a little piece of the wall there through 1 and 2, and he will be another one of many tonight to pick up the famed Darlington strike before this one's over.
Well, I can tell you this, if the right side of your car isn't scuffed at the very least, you weren't trying here tonight. This track will burn the tires off to a point where you don't have a choice but to ride the wall to get through the corner. And that's fitting because that's the Larson line, as they call it. That's really the only way around this place, is to ride it up high and try to make the most out of that banking.
And you can see just how strange the line is there through 3 and 4. It's even more interesting through 1 and 2. You got to be so active on the throttle, so active on the steering wheel. Low entry, slide up, kind of diamond off the corner. You pick up a little bit of speed through there, then back onto the brakes of hair to get the car to rotate to get off the corner. It is maybe one of the most challenging corners that you'll ever see driving an oval, just because of how bizarrely it's laid out compared to any other track.
So in 1949, when they broke ground on this speedway, a farmer didn't want his minnow pond disturbed. He'd spent years developing his minnow pond and actually had growth and didn't want it messed with at all. And as far as messing with it, they could build the track right up next to it, but it was the spring that he was worried about that was feeding that pond. So they narrowed the entry of turn 3 up enough to avoid that entire ground. And that's why the unique egg-shaped came to be. You know, when they were developing this track, it was a horse ring, if you can believe that.
Things have changed just a little bit now. Instead of a couple of horses, we've got 900 under the hoods of each of these Gen 4 cars. And boy, are they putting them all to use here in the early going. Blazing pace set up front by the leaders. Meanwhile, back deeper in the field, some great battling. This is Steve Melnick, Tim Bruce, Craig Martin, all battling for the 13th spot.
What a sharp-looking ride there from Melnick in the 1. See if we can get a zoomed-in look at that car. I'm trying to get a good look at it here. Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck action. All right. That's looking sharp.
I like the purple. That, you know, that's my favorite color, so I have to get a look at that. If it's purple, I'm probably going to pay more attention to it. That goes out to all these drivers. We'll have a whole field of purple next week.
It's just not a color you see too often on a race car, I feel like, which I think is part of the reason why it's so eye-catching out there.
For
Not
sure.
to be outdone, though, Craig Martin with the infamous teeth scheme. A lot of Deadpool and just a whole gnarly jaw of teeth.
Yes.
Remember the
Always
first
got some
race I
teeth.
saw that one, I was concerned. And now it feels just like a staple. It feels weird whenever I don't get this.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely been running this consistently, and I think he purposely places that Volkswagen badge a little off center there on the nose of that 22. Currently running in 14th spot, up 4 positions. Another big mover in the top 5 already has his Darlington stripe on the right front fender. Abe Ellison has worked his way from 7th up to 4th, but he has Sheldon Atkins, Daniel Giroux just behind if he makes a mistake, and they're really loose coming out turn 4.
Yeah, right now, Atkins and Giroux both trying to find a way around the 27. Giroux really hounding the back bumper of Atkins here through 1 and 2. He might try and take a look to the inside down the back straightaway. He's got a nose peeking out. Will he do anything with it? Doesn't appear this time by, but he's consistently getting some clean air on the nose under the 81.
And so a good showing last week at Talladega up until the very end, and Giroux did not get his second victory. Got to talk to Sheldon Atkins in the post-race, and how many times for Atkins there in the 81 did we see him close to a victory that just slipped away? It was just one of those races that it all came together for the 81 and kind of helped punch his way in to that chase format, now top 5 in points.
Yeah, it was a big run when he was really in a situation where he could use it. Went out, had a great run last week, and has put himself in prime position here. But the guy behind him, Daniel Giroux, despite his season-opening win, has not been the greatest of seasons for the 92. He's going to take a look to the inside here in 1 and 2. Trying to get every point he can get his hands on tonight with a big slide. Takes away P5 from Atkins.
To the top 5 for the 92. He has about 0.5, half a second up to the 27 of Gabe Ellison as they mow through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, looks like Mullins might have company here soon. Gabe Ellison, even with that damage, is still catching up to your third place driver.
Yeah, he's getting right to the back bumper here of Mullins, who has kind of lost Carrington and Sturgill. He's about 2 seconds adrift of the back bumper of the 3, but that has let the 27 get in prime position here, try and track down that Delta. See, really trying to get to the inside here off the 2. Try and reel his way in down the super stretch, but nothing going that time around, but he continues lap after lap. They get about a half a car length closer.
And it's through 3 and 4 that the 27 is really making up most of his time. He's about even through 1 and 2. But last time by, almost identical lap times again. A 30.363 for Mullins. A 30.327, so 0.04 of a second. You add that up, there's plenty of time for the 27 to get into this top 3. However, here at Darlington, catching him's one thing, passing him's entirely different. And for the 27, who already has some right front damage, he's going to have to plan this strategically. And you can see behind him there with Atkins and Giroux. Looks like this battle brewing back up.
Yeah, Giroux cleared the 81, but has not pulled away from him the slightest. Little bit of sparks flying out of the back of the 92 as well.
It's a good look.
As Atkins, yeah, perfectly timed. We jumped on board here with the 81 of Atkins, who's going to make a lunge into turn 3. Got within a car length. Will he be able to roll the center?
He rolled the center well, but it's that exit part that cut him off. This is kind of what we were talking about. That's probably going to happen to the, into the wall. That's going to help, but this is not the part of the racetrack. You want to be side by side. Atkins knows that, cuts him a break. There's some more sparks off of the right rear from the 92 is just using every inch of this racetrack.
Yeah, the pressure right now immense that the 81 is putting on the 92. And looks like through 3 and 4 this time, Atkins is going to take that spot back from Daniel Giroux. And these two battling has let Michael Garone get into the picture as well. The 66 closing in on the back bumper of the 92. Nice little 3-car battle for 5th we've got going on here.
All for the top 5. Into the inside of Daniel Giroux. Michael Garone goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. Slides up. He disappears. It's not the moment for that either. Giroux maybe lifts off the throttle not knowing where the 66 is going to end up. Wise decision there to keep it green on lap 23. There's the 11 that has went a lap down officially here. Tough break for the 11 of Thomas Stokes, but could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot better. I know that he was starting up here in the top 10 rather, and when you're that far ahead of the field and you spin tires, very easy to take out 7 or 8 cars with you.
Yeah, for sure. So Stokes is just going to try and keep the car under him at this point here for the rest of this stint. It has not been the best of days so far for the 11, nor the 77 of Kyle Shelton. Already 9 laps off the pace here. Darlington has not treated that Frosted Flakes machine well.
It hasn't been kind to any of the serial killer drivers. And we've got Tim Bruce, Kyle Shelton. I mean, Tim Bruce is back in 16th here. Has a lot of damage on that right side. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch machine just logging some laps. Has fallen back 2 spots. Thomas Stokes down 11. Josh Taylor, another name that we need to talk about with a tough break. Not exactly sure what happened to the 7. He too, from the front row all the way back to 18th.
Yeah, and also a lap down. He needs to catch Stokes. If there is to be a caution, right now Stokes would be the free pass car. So Josh Taylor, if he's trying to get back up there and get back on the lead lap, would need to find his way to the 11. But as all this is going on, we got a great battle here. Gabe Ellison, Michael Mullins, the battle for 3rd. Ellison just clears the 24. But Mullins maybe not done yet.
A pass happened there just a moment ago. Mullins is back on offense, plays to the inside in the exit of 4, not enough. Doesn't keep the nose in it. Right on board with Mullins. We rode on board with Gabe Ellison and Casey Carrington into the wall. That Mullins uses it to rotate, but that's kind of what we talked about with the Darlington stripe. Sometimes that can help you Looks like it hurt him more than this time around.
Mullins, though, still in the tire tracks of Ellison as they go through turns 3 and 4. Back down the front straightaway toward lap 28. This first stage flying by. No pun intended as we're on board with the Delta Airlines car.
I think that pun was entirely intended.
It only hit me as the moment I said flying by, I said, oh wait, this works.
Sometimes
So
it's that play
it
on
was-
words.
Yeah, it was half intended after the first half was already said.
We're just going to act like we meant to do that. Out of turn 4, back to the rear bumper of Gabe Ellison. 24 of Mullins is not going anywhere anytime soon. The Delta Airlines 24 has been strong at several different locations. Remember back to Auto Club, we've made mention of that several times on the broadcast. And it just seems like if he's comfortable and confident at a racetrack, he'll find his way around you as he moves up to third.
Nicely timed move there for the 24. Slides on by Gabe Ellison and back down the front straightaway they go with the 24 now on that final step of the podium. It's been a good battle between these two. It's also been a good battle a little deeper in the field, what we've been watching. See here the 63 of Curtis White trying to get around Atkins, Dylan Rosenberg, Stan Carnathan all in this mix. We were on board with the 81 a little bit earlier in his battles, but now he's got some new challengers between Rosenberg and White.
You got to wonder, is that a case, you know, he's got a clean car. Is he backing it down too much and conserving too much into this race? Like I said, if you're not wearing the right side off of this car by the end of the night, yeah, you got a clean car, but you end up 10th position because you weren't pushing it to the absolute limit. Darlington's one of those places where you have to use that wall. Here's the 91 of Rosenberg testing it out. Almost some contact.
Oh, they are getting really bottled up now. Nose to tail, 4 deep as Atkins. Gonna dive in here. This is a tight place to try and make a move.
Let's stay
Coming
side by
off the
side.
corner.
Still side by side, almost contact.
Will Atkins bail out into turn 1? Just a little bit. The 81 into self-preservation business today. And you are seeing he is not giving Rosenberg a break as he gets right back to the bumper.
Try through 3 and 4 again on the 91. Sometimes you'll see drivers drop below that dotted white line to help the car rotate and stick the bottom. Doesn't look like it worked this time. He has to be mindful as well, the 63 of Curtis White. If he makes a mistake here on trying this pass, he can open up the door for Curtis White to the outside at the wrong time.
And they're all catching lap traffic here, and Thomas Stokes, not sure if this is what anyone wanted to see in this moment in that lead group. It's already tough enough to get around this track, let alone when you've got cars in front of you you're trying to navigate. The entire group here are going to kind of get bottled up a little bit. Honestly, though, 1 and 2, not a bad place to have that happen. Really tough to make a pass there. So Rosenberg going to hold on to it, at least for the moment. Stokes, though, out of the way this time by, and Atkins right back on the attack, as is Curtis White.
Jason Carrington has ran away with this lead by over 4 seconds. It's almost 5 as he comes into 3 and 4. We keep our eye on this battle, though, for the top 5. 81 of Atkins has tried several times to get around Dylan Rosenberg. He took that spot away just a moment ago, about lap 16. Now it's bottlenecked here with the 91, the 81, the 63, and the 82. Well, I tell you what, they get loose off of turn 2 like that every time, and Atkins is able to get to the inside. Will he complete this pass all the way down on the apron? He slide jobs in front of the 91. He'll clear for 5th.
Yeah, Rosenberg, though, still hot on his heels, but this time, Atkins, a great run off the corner. Gonna open up that gap to the 91. A little bit of relief here for Sheldon Atkins, starting to pull away from that the trio behind him. Rosenberg, though, no rest for the wicket as Curtis White, Stan Carnathan directly behind him. Carnathan now looking to the inside of the 63 in 3 and 4.
You saw what the 81 was able to do. He's going to try his luck in 3 and 4. Not going to work this time, but they'll stay side by side. Looks like Curtis White cuts him a break, lifts off the throttle, and lets the Hemps 82 on by. 37 laps complete. We're sitting right around 8 to go. 8.5 for the stage. Casey Carrington's lead, 5.2 seconds over Michael Sturgill. How about that? He's led all 37 laps complete here tonight.
Yeah, can't draw it up much better than the way this race has started so far for the 43. Led every lap, took the pole, and has opened up a healthy margin over the 3 of Sturgill. Obviously, green flag pit stops likely starting in just a few laps here, but right now, things going about as good as they can for the 43. Meanwhile, for drivers like Sturgill or Ellison, how do you try and reel in about 6 seconds to the leader on pit strategy? You're going to have to get real creative out there, I think, to try and make that happen.
It goes for all the whole shot motorsports drivers. You've got Gabe Ellison, Michael Garone, and Michael Sturgill all running 2nd through 4th position right now. It's safe to say that they tested and practiced together. There's the first Darlington stripe for Garone.
He was lucky he caught that car. It was getting all out of sorts. He was able to collect it, though, in time. Will continue running in that 4th position. And these cars running 2nd through 4th have all opened up a bit of a gap over Sheldon Atkins. That is where 5th on back that battle picks up.
Atkins got around Dylan Rosenberg. Rosenberg on the downtrend now. Almost back to where he started this race. You can see some lap traffic being navigated there. And Curtis White, I believe, got into the wall. The one who is a lap down of Steve Melnick got by. It's Jose Ruiz. That's 9th position. Daniel Giroux will round out your top 10. He's coming down pit road just short of the stage break. The stage end, if you will.
Yeah, so bringing it down pit road. And this could be the first of many. As the 92 going to get service done in just a moment.
Mistake maybe from the 27. He loses another spot.
And Garone, bit of a stripe himself, getting around Ellison. So that 3rd place battle, far from settled. If they can both keep it off the wall here.
I know Clinton Sneed is up on the box here, not on the racetrack here tonight. I know he is back in 11th. He's been quiet, very quiet. Sorry about that, Clinton.
He's just been going about his business, running it 1 lap at a time here. 2nd last car on the lead lap, but he is up 8 spots from where he started. So it's been a slow, steady uptick here for the 49. Particularly as other drivers have run into some misfortune. He hasn't made a misstep yet and has been able to capitalize on it.
Another car coming down pit road. Looks like Tim Bruce in the 411. We've got a car sideways on the front stretch. No, that was a graphic. Man, I'm losing it. I am losing it. Hallucinogens here in South Carolina tonight.
There is something in the air, and when they say it's magical, they might be talking about the magic mushroom, not something that you just experienced out here tonight.
Might be the chemical plant down the street. I don't know.
Might be. You know, we are keeping it loose here on B-Speed tonight for the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series.
They're keeping it loose here at Darlington as well. You see the 66 of Garone starting to prevail. And no offense to Michael Garone, but for him to be passing his teammates like that, and now he's up to 2nd spot, that tells me he's got something for him in the long run. As we complete the stage here, Casey Carrington's going to come around. He's going to get this stage by 8.5 seconds out of turn 4. We'll put that top 10 up on your screen in just a moment. But how about that for Casey Carrington? Stage points in the 3rd to last race of the regular season. Casey Carrington has came to play. There's your top 10.
Looking incredibly good behind the wheel right now is that 43. Bit of a scramble there for the last couple stage points between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Groen, Ellison, and Sturgill all battling it out. And then as you get a little further on back, guys like Stan Carnathan, some good points. Adkins, White, Ruiz, Snead, and Martin. The 10 cars are all getting points. Now here comes the field down pit road.
I am thoroughly impressed with what that 66 is doing right now. You saw Gabe Ellison very cautious on the pit road entry, started it in turn 3. How about Michael Garone? He decided to enter almost into turn 4. Let's back this up one time. Now here's the entry. Turns 2. Now watch the 27 back here in the background. And I want you to see right here the entry. Now watch the 66.
Oh, man. Got it down. Got it slowed up. Nicely done. Tell you what, that 66 is having quite the day. Started in 12th, came down pit road when he was running in P2. And he is looking mighty fine at the moment. I do believe Casey Carrington might have also made his way down pit road here.
Michael Sturgill there just behind him, but the 43 who started on the pole down and away had an 8-second lead almost after this all cycled through. We'll come back out on the racetrack in about the 6th position. Here's Jose Ruiz getting a lap led. The Mark Martin throwback. The silver SinPower Valvoline Ford Taurus. Mark Martin, who got oh so close to so many championships. How many times was he runner-up? Jose Ruiz looking to take it all by storm for the 6 team.
Yeah, it takes a special person to almost win the championship on 5 different occasions. It takes someone even more special to do it over the course of 2 decades. The first attempt being, I believe, in '88. The second, or the last one, being in 2009. I mean, the longevity for Mark has been crazy. And I mean, that scheme, one of his most iconic. I'll tell you what, it's been a solid day for Jose Ruiz as well. Started at the back of the field, has worked his way up to the mid-pack here through pit cycles. Going to stretch it a little bit long and try and maybe keep himself on the freshest tires in the field before it's all said and done.
There was Daniel Giroux.
Oh, we got some contact on the backstretch. Tim Bruce and John Scavnicki nearly lost it coming off of turn 2.
There's an iconic paint scheme from Darlington. The Rubbermaid number 4. It's actually the 97 driven by Kurt Busch, but let's back this up one more time. We'll see coming out of the exit of this corner, the 411 gets up into the wall, comes across the nose of the 4. Here's the, nope, doesn't get the wall, but almost.
He did get a piece of the 4, I believe, though. So while he avoided the contact on the right side, a little bit on the left, and now Scavnicki going to look to try and make the pass this time around in the 1 and 2, driving it really deep into the corner.
Touches down on that apron, gets the car to rotate. Back out to the front. Michael Garone is 7 seconds back from this driver right here. Harrington has pulled out. 24 Mullins, who got a little loose, is now going to go a lap down. That leaves us 10 cars on the lead lap here at Darlington. Don't go anywhere, though. Casey Carrington's going to continue to lead some laps while we take a brief commercial break. You're watching the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series live on V-Speed. More coverage will continue right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Darlington Raceway, the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series has completed 56 laps. 55, 56. Yeah, you're seeing it on the top left. I'll keep up. But here tonight, we have some read-offs to talk about. It's presented by Admin Box, Aspiration Homes, and finally, Rapid Fired Pizza. Amazingly good, amazingly fast. The first Rapid Fired Pizza opened its doors in 2015 in Dayton, Ohio. The idea was simple: make delicious, fast, and affordable pizza. Now in 25 cities across the country, customers love the fresh taste and the speed, with the ability to create their own perfect pizza with over 35 different toppings and sauces. You can go to www.rapidfiredpizza.com for a location near you. Back to the live shot here. Casey Carrington continuing to stretch out that lead. Michael Garone having a solid day. But Alex, what do you say we hear the sights and sounds from Darlington, South Carolina? Let's turn up that volume a little bit and get loud, presented by 29 Graphics.
Name a more iconic sound and track duo, you can't.
That was Get Loud, presented by 29 Graphics, all the way on the other side of this racetrack right now. The 43 of Casey Carrington, 8.3 seconds ahead of Michael Garone, who is 7/10 ahead of your third place driver, Gabe Ellison. Talked about the points, how that lead grew back. Carrington last week, not a good finish at Talladega. Trying to recover from that here tonight at Darlington.
I say he's recovering rather nicely. There's about nothing he could do differently to make tonight better than how it's gone. 8.6 second lead over Michael Garone. Tell you what, though, that's a driver who's having a really quality day as a 66, up from 12th to 2nd, and just getting by everyone on pure pace here. He has been bad fast tonight.
Carries on from the 12th position, biggest gainer of this race, 10 spots up. And the Dickey 66 continues to keep that lead over his teammate in the 27. but losing ground, and it's in the late run. I was just impressed. We talked about his pit stops on and off pit road here. That's the money stop. It's a one and done here tonight from Darlington. 35 laps to go when they cross the stripe. 25 rather. And for Casey Carrington, it's just a matter of let's wrap this thing up and keep it green. This lead hasn't dwindled down since the start.
Yeah, no, every lap, it looks like the 43 is just able to tack on, you know, another tenth, another half tenth. And, you know, lap after lap, that is really starting to add up. Looking through this field, it looks like we might have a bit of a battle going on a little deeper in the field. See there, that is, oh yeah, there we go. There is the 91 of Dylan Rosenberg, 49 of Clinton Sneed, currently the top car off the pace of the lead lap, trying to stay in that free pass position should there be a caution. Meanwhile, Curtis White in 7th, trying to track down Dylan Rosenberg. Even through the pit cycle, these two have not been able to get separated from each other.
To the end of the top 10, last car on the lead lap is Jonathan Scavnicki. We're talking about the iconic paint scheme on this number 4. And a lot of leagues run throwback night here at Darlington. If you can remember back to the early 2000s, I believe it was 2003, that Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch battled back and forth here at Darlington Raceway. And it was up to the last 400 feet, separated by 2/100ths of a second. Across that line, touching doors. Kurt Busch pinned up against the wall, and that's one of the most iconic finishes that Ricky Craven ever brought to the sport. Another car that was notorious for getting around this racetrack. Talk about the Petties and what they were able to do. Richard Petty, just phenomenal back in the day here. And even then, carrying over to when Petty retired and drivers took over the team. All the way to Allgaier, I believe it was the last driver in the 43.
And he had, you know, even Eric Jones won here in that 43 a couple seasons ago. I mean, they have had success across the board. And, yeah, it's just been one of those Darlington races where you've seen, you know, who can figure it out and who's had some issues here tonight. As we are running out of time here in a hurry, only about 20 laps to go next time by. I tell you what, I was just hearing over the radio, Bradley, that sounded like Sheldon Atkins was trying to let the stewards know there was some debris on the backstretch. Whether there was actually something back there, who's to say? But he seemed pretty adamant about the fact that they should throw the yellow to clean up the debris off the backstretch.
If we can get a look at that debris.
Yeah, we'll rock that board here and see if we can find it.
Yeah, it's another one of those hallucinogen moments here at Darlington.
Been the running theme tonight, seeing things that may or may not be there, but I can't fault the man for trying. Good attempt to try and get this field all wadded back up and get that deficit down. It's only a couple laps to go here as he's in this battle with Curtis White. Dylan Rosenberg's lost out to them both, but back up front here.
I was sorry, I'm dancing around on the cameras on you a little bit, but you know, we're trying to find some cars that would be relative, and right now it's Sheldon Atkins and Curtis White. Yeah.
This is the battle on track right now. P6, P7. Atkins a good run down the front straightaway, going to take that spot away.
Atkins too has been pretty phenomenal in the long run. Looks like his speed really comes on with about 30 laps on these tires. We're sitting right around 24 laps into this stint, 26 for some of these drivers. And this is right where the 81 started to pick up positions. And the last time for Garone, it was really bad fast in the last 10 laps. So I'm interested to see. I know this lead's pretty massive here for Carrington, 9.4 seconds. But I think Garone, at about lap 80, will probably slim that lead down to under 8 seconds. He was bad fast. He was quicker than his teammates. He hasn't given that spot back up to the 27 of Ellison. And, you know, you got Sturgill, who's fallen back. He was the driver that ran pace for the first 10 laps with Carrington. Since then, he's lost back to 4th and hasn't regained any of it.
Yeah, really has been it's been a decent night for Sturgill, but maybe not the night he's been hoping for. He's kind of been stuck back here behind Garone and Ellison. And he's been able to keep pace with them, but really hasn't been able to challenge either one for position in the past, say, 30 or 40 laps. So right now it's been a very quiet 4th place run so far for the driver of the 3.
And a look at the simracerhub.com number 3 machine. He's got his teammate in the wall just in front of him. But since 2009, simracerhub.com has been the premier destination for iRacing League scoring. Our mission is to provide you with the most comprehensive and user-friendly tools to manage your league schedules, results, points, and stats. Plus, with our highly effective and active Discord community, they're always ready to assist you with any questions or issues. Ready to take the plunge? Create a league today and join our community of passionate sim racers. You can find out more at simracerhub.com. And always good-looking paint schemes. Look at Clinton Sneed here in the chrome and pearl red. Then you have the 27 of Ellison that's running that blue. Or Sturgill back there with the gold and black, and they drive a little bit different manufacturer than everyone else as well.
Yep, gotta rep the Lexus out here. Not too often you get to see those bad boys on track, as Garone almost lost it off of turn 2. A little bit of a slide and a save for the driver of the 66. And he'll keep the hammer down here, running in the 2nd position. He's opened up about a second to Gabe Ellison. So he's kind of got a little bit of room going both directions at the moment.
Lead is stretched out to just over 10 seconds. This is the mark here where I'm interested to see if Garone can shave any of that time back off. Carrington has not let up, continues to pull a couple tenths a lap. This time by 30.912. Michael Garone is just now coming out of turn 4. And it looks like for him, he's losing ground to his teammates, a 31.2. Garone maybe used it up a little too early.
It's possible here. He's got to hold on for another 10, 11 laps. That gap about half a second between 2nd and 3rd. We're approaching the lap car here, I believe, of Tim Bruce as they make their way toward 3 and 4. Will one of the cars behind the 66 be able to use the 411 as a pick? Gonna be an unfortunate place to catch him here going into turn 1.
Seeing that gap dwindle down into the wall now for the 411. Everyone able to navigate around here in the top 5.
Oh, Garone got a piece of the wall, as did Melnick. And Ellison has caught up to the back bumper of the 66 here.
Less than 10 to go. Garone looking at top 3. Just got to hold on to it here.
The amount of laps remaining, the amount of cars still on the lead lap.
I really hope that Michael Garone can bring this together. I mean, it's been a great day. It would be a real shame if he fell out of this top 3, especially to teammates. Ellison's going to stay focused, though. He knows he's got this points championship, all on the line. Teammates are an afterthought when it comes to one spot. Just trying to mitigate anything that Casey Carrington can gain on him. And for every car that's between him and that 43 tonight, that's a position that's going to gain the 43 some of that gap back before we go to Watkins Glen.
And coming into tonight, the best finish on the season for the 66 was a 5th place finish at Atlanta back in August. So this could be a huge break in the season here for the 66 if he's able to maintain this momentum. Ellison, Sturgill, both in that regular season title hunt, especially the 27. Every point gonna matter to him here if he can try and reel in one more and minimize the advantage here that Carrington got for winning the stage, and appears to be well on his way to winning the race.
The stage winner to the 43. He's led pretty much every lap with the exception of that green flag pit stop cycle. He'll come out of turns 3 and 4 to get the 5 to go signal now from Barney the flagman. And 12.3 seconds. The battle here is from second back to fourth. Michael Sturgill at the tail end of this grouping has the 11 of Stokes, the 27 of Gabe Ellison, all teammates here for Whole Shot Motorsports. Then it's Stan Carnathan with a solid day. Looks like he's going to come home in P5, barring no mistakes in the Hemp's 82. Just behind him, Sheldon Atkins, coming off that momentum from last week. Looks like a top 10 for a 6th position. Curtis White in the 63 has Jose Ruiz about 4.5 back. There's the 49 of Clinton Sneed, who's been praying for a caution, and it hasn't happened yet. Clean and green all race long. 4 laps to go here from Darlington.
Yeah, only 8 cars remain on the lead lap, and I believe that'll be the number when this thing ends. Jose Ruiz about several seconds clear still of Casey Carrington with 4 laps to go. It's just been an unbelievable performance tonight for the driver of the 43. Truly just a textbook run on how to navigate this track effectively from Casey Carrington, and he has made it look clinical tonight, has not put a step wrong, and now with 3 to go, I mean, this looks to be what could be maybe the most dominant victory of the season for any driver.
84 out of the 88 complete, and he'll wrap this thing up with 87 of the 90 laps that we ran here today at Darlington. 13.2 seconds. The gap between the 27 and the 3 is down to about 2/10. We could have a battle on our hands as we have a lot of lap traffic to navigate around here for Garone.
A ton of lap traffic. The 66 is clear. The 27 and the 3 not so lucky. They've got to get around Skavnicki, who bails out to the inside. Here comes Michael Sturgill to the back bumper of Ellison.
Ellison really tight there out of the exit of 2, but as was the 3 of Sturgill. White flag in the air one more time around for Casey Carrington through 1 and 2. Now down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Hard on the brakes to the bottom of the racetrack. Lets it slide up towards the outside wall and coasts it into the exit of turn 4. Casey Carrington came to play. Dominant race here tonight from Darlington. Casey Carrington in the 43 is going to be your winner.
Leads 87 of 90 laps. What a run.
And Michael Garone brings it home in second. Gabe Ellison able to hold on for a top 3. Sheldon Atkins somehow got around Stan Carnathan in those last few laps. He'll get a top 5.
Coming into tonight, the largest margin of victory in a race this season was about 6.7 seconds at that Atlanta race that we mentioned previously. That was a race won by Casey Carrington when he led 75 of 90 laps. And he one-ups himself here tonight, leading 87 of 90 and winning by clear of 12 seconds. So when that 43 is on, he is unbeatable.
How about that? 87 laps led. Casey Carrington trying to make up ground in the last 3 races. He did it for the first week. He's got Watkins Glen and Texas Motor Speedway to try to take away that points lead in the regular season. Post-race interviews with your top 3. Final results. We're going to gather up all that information, bring you more coverage here momentarily from Darlington. Don't go anywhere. SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series. We'll be back here on V-Speed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Darlington Raceway, or SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series. I forgot what day of the week it was. Got done with their 100 or 90 laps. I'm all over the place. Alex Gagman, take it away.
Alrighty. Wrapping up here from Darlington Raceway, 90 laps in race 13 of the season. It was Casey Carrington who picked up the win here tonight in the 43, a dominant victory. 14.7 seconds clear of second place Michael Garone. Season best finish for the 66. Gabe Ellison brings it home third tonight in that regular season title hunt. Michael Sturgill fourth. Sheldon Atkins sneaking in the top five at the line over Stan Carnathan, who will bring it home sixth tonight. Curtis White seventh, with Jose Ruiz being the last car on the lead lap in eighth position. Dylan Rosenberg brings it home ninth, and John Sciavnicki with the top 10 brings the number 4 car home in the 10th spot.
Clinton Sneed will be in the 11th position, got trapped a lap down, never could recover from that. Then it goes back to 12th position with Craig Martin in the 22. Daniel Giroux, not the day that he wanted for the 92 team, 13th spot. Michael Mullins, who was up in the top 5 for the start of this day, has some problems on pit road, has some problems on the racetrack. 24 is going to finish 14th. Steve Melnick in that sharp-looking purple and yellow machine. It looked like a 15th position for him tonight. The 411 of Tim Bruce will finish 16th. Thomas Stokes, rough start, spun the tires on the beginning of this race. Got spun down the backstretch by the 77 of Kyle Shelton, who will finish just behind him. And it's Josh Taylor, who started outside the front row. Toughest break for him. 17 spots lost. He will finish in 19th. With that, we bring you trackside now. We have caught up with our top 3 finishers. First one that we're going to talk to is Gabe Ellison in the number 27.
First spot.
And there's
Sorry.
Gabe. Yeah, it's all right. We were talking post-race stuff. I know you were probably talking to your teammate, Michael Garone. What a phenomenal job he did today. But Gabe, you got your Darlington stripe within the first 20 laps of this race, and you were still bad fast.
Yeah, actually, on the initial start, there were some spun tires, and I got 40 seconds of damage on the right front before I crossed the start finish line. So I started on the wrong foot. I don't know how much that slowed me down, but yeah, I mean, I had enough pace to keep it in third. Maybe without the damage, I could run second. I don't think anyone was sniffing Casey tonight, so huge props to him. I don't know where that pace was compared to what I was doing. But all the credit to him and Garone as well. He ran a great race. He came from like the very back of the field, I think, too. So that was a good drive.
Well, Gabe, I don't think if you asked him, he would tell you either way. I know that we get into
Yeah, probably not.
our little post race back and forth, and we'll probably chat it up here after the event. But you got to give credit where it's due. He definitely came to play tonight. You were able to mitigate that though. When you come into tonight with the points lead, you've had it for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks consistently now. How is your mentality going into Watkins Glen?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to run best I can and not make any mistakes. I mean, a road course in these things is going to be a handful. So if I just go out there and put down solid laps, you don't have to break any records. Just don't wreck, and you should run towards the front of the field hopefully. So that's the thing. Just trying to keep track position and keep it on the track.
So with that, Gabe, we have another great race, caution free. We're continuing to keep that trend going. We had a phenomenal effort to do so at Talladega. Now here we are at Darlington. We've got Watkins Glen, which is guaranteed admin cautions only, and then Texas. Anybody you want to shout out for the regular season and just overall?
Yeah, as always, shout out to you guys putting on the broadcast. You'll do a good job. And thanks to the wife, she got my 2 kids right now, so dealing with them while I'm racing. So huge thanks to her, and also thanks to Clinton Sneed and Casey Carrington for running the leagues.
Gabe Ellis in third place here tonight from Darlington Raceway. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
We move on to our second place finisher, Michael Garone. Looks like I'm going to catch up with him as well. I know that we had kind of originally talked about this prior to these moments that that you were going to get third and first. I'll let you get Casey Carrington because, well, he had a dominant day. But you know who else had a really good day? Michael Garone, best finish here. You passed your teammates. I tell you what, the Dickie's 66 in the long run. It looked bad fast here tonight.
I run good here pretty much in everything. I was kind of looking forward to this race. I had it circled, so qualified really poorly. Ruined my second lap just driving it in too deep in 1 and 2. So had to pass a lot of cars. Spent the whole first run pretty much making it up to where I wanted to be, and Casey was just too far out there. The second run, I thought about doing something a little different, maybe pitting long, but I mean, there was really nothing I could have done. So I kind of just cruised to a second. Gabe and Sturgill kind of kept me company there. Gave me something to do the last run there, but yeah, I really love this place.
Without a doubt there, Michael. You had a couple moments there out of turn 2 where I thought you were going to lose control. And I even said it on the broadcast. I really hope that Michael's able to hold on to this thing because what a drive tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I like hanging it out. That's, I think, part of the reason I'm pretty good here because I'm kind of comfortable hanging the right rear out and sliding around. So, biggest thing was had a good time. Been kind of miserable some weeks running this car, just trying to figure it out, but felt good to finally be comfortable in this thing and drive it the way I want to at a track that I really like. So.
Well, it doesn't matter what combination of car, truck, SUV, whatever you want to bring out here, it is tough to get around this racetrack. I will put Michael Garone up there as a Darlington ringer. Had the 43 not been on this racetrack, I think he would have won this race.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish. But we got a couple races here before the chase, and going to the chase. Hopefully, we get one before the end of the year. Really quickly, want to thank Clinton, everybody at Sim Racer Hub for making this possible. You guys at V Speed, you guys do a great job. Quick shout out to my girlfriend Alexis. She watches every week. She's rooting me on in the chat. I'm sure you see her chats every week. So, big thanks to her. And Yeah, just happy to be here.
Well, you beat me to the punch. Michael Garone, second place here tonight from Darlington. We'll move on to next week. We'll see you at Watkins Glen.
Thank you.
Alex, I feel like I owe it to you. So how about this? How about you just bring it on in, whatever you got to say?
All right. Well, gonna jump down to victory lane here to talk to tonight's winner, driver of the 43, Casey Carrington. Casey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, not much more you could have done perfect tonight. Went out there, led just about every lap, won the stage, won the race. Largest margin of victory in a race this season. Talk to us a little bit about your day. Once you set sail, it looked like it was smooth sailing from there.
I pretty much went on a Tuesday night drive. Yeah. This track's kind of like a road course where if you get a big weed, you can pretty much just hang on to it as long as there's not a caution or a lap traffic taking you out. So that was pretty much the only two things I had to worry about was avoiding the lapped cars because obviously there's probably not a track on iRacing on the oval side that creates more of a discrepancy in pace than this place. Maybe Bristol, but it was yeah, it felt like an ARCA official race at times because you had like three different races going on, and like no caution to bunch everybody back up. It's funny to say considering I had like a 15-second lead, but I was probably more paranoid in this race than any of the other ones that I've won this season.
Was that just because you had opened up to such a lead, or because there was no cautions, you were constantly running into different battles on track that didn't directly involve you, but something you had to clear?
Yeah, it was kind of a situation where, that this place is so anti-caution that even if you get caught up in something, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a yellow. So you might lose, if you get a meatball, you might not even have a yellow to slow everybody else down and your race might be over. So it's one of those things. And then, too, I think, like you said, having a big weed, it's what they talk about in real life. The driver starts feeling every vibration and hearing different sounds, kind of like that. I was worried my PC was going to overheat, that my internet was going to go out, that, all this, I was going to sneeze mid corner, all these kinds of stuff that usually when you're battling for the weed, you don't really have time to think about. But yeah, it was,
In
that's one of
in
the
that
situations.
list,
Go ahead.
um, is there any truth to your competitors also trying to call for debris cautions while the laps were winding
Yeah,
down?
I heard something about that, about some Mike and Ike spewed off a turn two. I don't know. Definitely some cars out there that looked like they were hitting debris. Now, whether there was actually debris there or not, I don't know. But yeah, that was yeah, like I said, biggest fear right there in the last 30, 40 laps is a caution. And thankfully, once you get down to like the last 5 laps or so, okay, I can, pit. Everybody's gonna take tires, and I can just sail off into the sunset on a green, white, checkered. But you're definitely in the danger zone there from about whatever lap I pitted to about 10 to go.
It ultimately worked out for you tonight. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. Casey, congrats. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out tonight?
I'd like to shout out all the week sponsors. I'd like to shout out you guys for doing the broadcast. I'd like to shout out Quentin for putting the week on to begin with. I'd like to shout out CX2 Racing and also PTP Racing because we kind of, I guess, have merged teams now. I really don't know what's going on with that. But shout out to those guys, except for the one guy that wouldn't let me pass him when he was like 3 laps down. But and Drew was desperately trying to stay on for that lucky dog, and yeah, that could have been bad. But yeah, shout out to all those guys, and shout out to everybody that watched the broadcast.
Alrighty, well, Casey, congrats on the win tonight. Dominating effort, and excited to talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, hopefully it's another 15-second win or so next. Where's it at? Watkins Glen.
Yep.
Yeah, probably there'll be a 15-second gap. I just doubt I'll be the leader, but we'll see.
Well, already excited for next week to see who it will
Love the
be. Will it
confidence.
be the driver of
Yeah.
the 43? But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week at the Glen.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And
I
that
love
was,
that confidence.
yeah, I mean, you could tell right away how stoked he is for Watkins Glen next week. He's got the points lead, which should give him some confidence, but, it sounds like he could be concerned that could dwindle a little bit post the road course.
With that, I have nothing left to say. It was just a dominant performance, a caution-free race, kind of what we were spoiled upon here in the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series at the start of the season. They're picking back up on, racing these long green flag runs, getting these pit stops, and wrapping these races up in less than, an hour's time. If you would have told me that a league was coming here to Darlington Raceway in a 900 horsepower stock car and they're going to race it clean and green all the way through, I would have probably called you a liar on that.
I also would have, because, I mean, it's Darlington. The whole MO of the track is it chews cars up and spits them out. And there was a couple of cars who ran into some incidents tonight, but nothing that had iRacing bring out the yellow, and we stayed clean and green the whole way.
That brings us to our next venue here on the schedule. Got a lot of tough races here in the next 2 weeks for the regular season. Watkins Glen will be the next one, and then it's on to Texas Motor Speedway, November 12th, 2 days before my birthday. I'd like to thank everybody that made this possible. Just a challenging road course with 8 turns, a bus stop chicane, a lot of right-handers. What's the trick to getting around this place, Alex?
I'll tell you what, the trick is to make sure you get on the curbs, but you don't get up and over the top of them. Getting on the curbs cuts down the corner that much more, but if you get the car too unsettled going over the top of those curbs, you'll almost certainly spin out, especially with the amount of horsepower these cars have. It is very much a game of precision next week at the Glen.
Game of throttle control for week 14 at the Glen. That'll be November 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. We've got plenty of more racing going on here on V-Speed. You can catch Racing Revolution tomorrow night. Looks like we're going to have Morgan Cook maybe back up here in the production, but if the voice isn't holding out, we'll definitely have Alex Gagnon up there on Wednesday night. You can catch that at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on V-Speed. We're off on Thursday for QSR. Happy Halloween to everybody that tuned in here tonight. On behalf of Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, Lucas Rokelj, Christian Hill, my co-commentator up in the booth, Alex Gagnon. This is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time here on V-Speed. Stay tracking, everybody.